Sing it. Wait. There's always a second. Waiting for it. I don't see it yet. Do you see it yet, Katie? 8 o'clock.
Yes, I do.
You do? How do I never see... Oh, wait, here I am. Sorry. So, tonight my good friend Scott Grimes is joining us. And wait,
who's here?
Surprise.
Surprise!
Olive is here.
Do you say hi, Lisa's tribe? Can you look right there in the camera? Say hi.
Hi.
Say welcome to Lisa's home.
Olive, you did so good.
That was awesome, my
Yeah,
love.
that was really good.
Okay, you guys, this is after a 20-hour drive.
I know, she's a rock star.
We drove up here from Florida. Don't ask me what was wrong with us, but we were a little crazy.
Oh my
But
gosh.
before Miss Olive goes and says goodbye,
Yeah.
Olive, call Papa. Say, Papa, come here.
Come here, Papa.
Say, come on in.
Come on in.
So you guys have
There
to do
she
a
goes.
quick...
She's out. She's out.
You're going to
wants
go
to go-
downstairs to play.
We're going downstairs.
She loves stairs.
Oh, yes.
Stairs are a new thing.
Because in Florida, we don't do many stairs.
I know, I told my movies.
No, you're not going to do any more movies then.
Your movies are downstairs, honey.
Your movies are downstairs.
Remember, we go that way and go downstairs.
Oh.
Hello, everybody.
This is,
James, just come say a quick hi. This is James.
Hello.
this is my husband, James, and he's the one who keeps me as sane as I can be.
As is humanly possible.
and,
I'm the one that chases Olive.
and keeps Olive so sweet.
Oh my gosh, she's adorable.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Very
really
proud.
good job. You got your pizza downstairs?
She's on the
You're
stairs.
good?
Oh, yes.
I'm good.
They
I'm
have
good.
pizza downstairs,
Here,
strawberries,
take
Beauty
these
and the
two,
Beast.
just in case.
They are
She might
completely
wanna-
sorted, and Lisa had
Please.
toys
want
left
to.
over from her nephews being here, so they're good.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, James.
Bye,
So
Goodbye,
Olive is
everybody.
downstairs. Bye, James. And she loves stairs. So the first thing she did when she came in, she's like, I want to go upstairs. And I'm thinking, well, that's unusual, but okay. So we go upstairs and she's like, I want to go back downstairs. And the guy goes, oh, she just doesn't have stairs.
And
you
she
live
will
in
do,
Florida.
and y'all know what the little ones, back and forth,
Yeah,
back and
again
forth.
and again.
Yes, yes.
Never gets old.
Again.
Yeah, so cute. Let me just, the volume's off. Good. Here we are. Wait, I always have to say hi to the very first person. Oh, Vicky said, hi, Vicky. Vicky said, hello, James. Angela said, James is kind of fine. Yes, he is, Angela. I noticed that as well. Yes, definitely. So, Scott.
That's kind of what my mom said.
Mom is
What did she say? It was my brother's wedding, and I was traveling quite a bit, and I called home. I go, Ma, I need you to work with James. I go, can you help him pick out a suit for the wedding? And she goes, honey, you could put a burlap bag on him,
Yeah.
and he would look beautiful. She goes, now take your father in because he's still wearing high waters.
Oh my gosh. So it was very interesting because I met Scott when John Hardy Jewelry originally came
Yes.
to QVC. And it was being represented by a model, and she was lovely, but just not, she's beautiful, she's sweet, you'd love to go have lunch with her, but it was not her, being on camera and it was not her thing.
What Lisa is saying, I was third runner-up, and I made it to the show.
The first runner-up and the winner were not able to fulfill their responsibilities, and he just slipped right in there. So it was so funny because one day I'm out at the ops desk and I meet Scott. Awesome. Like immediately fell in love with each other.
I think we were both wearing black leather jackets too.
Yeah, you know, yeah. And so I'm calling the director of the department and going, what the you had this guy and then you took her? She's like, I know, I didn't know until it was already done, and then he was so great.
And to that, the young lady is an amazing human being. To
She's
your point,
such a sweetheart. It's just not
the
her
forte.
thing.
And I had spent 8 years working with the design team at John Hardy.
Yeah.
I had traveled. Our head designer was a gentleman named Guy Betterita, who was the head of Van Cleef and Arpels for 15 years.
I mean, this guy knew the business inside and out, traveled the world, knew every detail of the jewelry, obviously great personality. So, you know, it was...
Let's wait another 50 minutes and see what you guys say.
We have an hour to figure that you can all vote at the end on that one. So
Please don't vote me out of the house. It's raining.
we became very good friends. And it was so funny because we were talking earlier and to James, and you said, okay, so James, and then you're going to come in and get Olive, and I'm going to say, this is my husband, James, and he's the one who keeps me sane. And James goes, I'm the one who comes between you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much it.
I love it. Well, first off, I'm psyched to be here.
Yay!
I am an honorary tribesman.
Yes. We have some men in our tribe.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we are not exclusively women. We believe in including everyone who's nice. And you're nice.
Aw.
And James is nice. And Olive is such a sweetheart.
That's how the world doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know all parents feel that way, but as someone from very, 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 very young, as a child, all I ever wanted to do was be a dad.
Yeah.
I come from an amazing family with a great mom and dad, and then the whole thing of being gay and not knowing what would happen to me and the way I was raised and all of those things, to sit here now and have a beautiful 3-year-old, stunning, healthy,
Yeah.
funny, she likes me.
Give
I know
about the age of
no
10 or 11,
So wait,
11 or 12.
Y'all know Doris Dalton. So between Lisa and Doris,
Lori.
I text them nonstop all the photos of Olive, everything she does. So I'm sure Lisa's like, okay, Scott, enough of
No,
this.
I don't. I love them. But let me explain the problem with going to lunch with Doris and Scott. They either A, make the waiter cry, or B,
In a good
make
way.
the waiter want to come home with us. Either the waiter is.
I do
either the
believe there was a
server
couple of times
is
you
so
helped us because-
completely over. Oh, I had nothing to do with it.
Remember
of
when
course.
Doris
I am
didn't show up?
blameless.
Remember when Doris didn't show up? So Doris didn't show up, so we pretended to write Doris's phone number down.
Yeah.
And took a picture of the waiter holding it saying, I'm going to call you. That's why you don't say no. If we invite you out, you better come.
Show up. Oh my gosh, what was we were at Seasons 22. That 52. Oh, thank you. Seasons 52. Good thing Katie's here.
Come on, Ma. 52.
I waited until I was 50 to have a
Have
child.
you seen this
I
little
hired
girl
her.
over here? It's
yes.
crazy.
I finally got her to do a few pictures.
I mean, she is stunning, and I
Yep.
told her, once you turn 40, your metabolism breaks up with you. And this happens. So she's going to enjoy it.
Ever will,
I know. And she's such a smart, beautiful,
I know.
kind.
If I didn't like her, I wouldn't like her. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's all good.
I love it.
And we had the best time at Seasons 52, and Katie was there. And that, I swear the server just hung out at our table.
Well,
Even when he had nothing to do. Like, he was just hanging out because he found us so
Remember
entertaining.
they sat us away from everybody?
We asked for that. We're like, you're
They
going to
totally
need
did.
to put us as far
By
away
the kitchen.
from the rest of humanity as possible because we're going to alienate the rest of the people in here. So please, for your own sake, as an ongoing business concern.
But at the same time, I'll say, as someone who grew up in the food industry, and I have waited every table from New York City down to Florida, we were still respectful. We weren't too loud.
Oh,
we
yeah. No, we just
literally
had such a
sat
good
there.
time.
I think you were there for 3 hours for a half-hour lunch.
Yeah. No, we had such a good time.
And I only
It
had
was-
one glass of
And
wine.
you told the hostess to say she recognized
Oh
us.
yes, when Doris was coming in, because Doris, Mrs. America, correct?
Yes.
And every time I'm in town, I go, Doris, just put some pageant hair on for me. Just give it big, bring it really close. And I go, so I told the hostess, I go, when she arrives, say, aren't you Mrs. America 19?
You're so bad.
She makes fun of me nonstop, so.
It's all fair.
And tomorrow night's her son's wedding, and guess who's gonna be there?
We are. Oh,
Trouble.
hey, Katie, can you just hit that door real quick? Thanks. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to be able to have all of you do is just hang out with Scott because we had the best time hanging out. And one of the things that I always love is Scott's stories about his family. So Scott has a great family, but he's always so funny in the way that he talks about him and his family that it absolutely cracks me up. So let's just start off with your family.
Okay, so everything I'm about to say.
It stays between us.
And I apologize to my family in advance because I love them all dearly. No, I'm the fourth of 5 kids, and I come from a family where we parade crazy out front, if you know what I mean.
Oh, we're proud of our crazy people.
But I mean, I remember going. My parents talk loud, and then they discuss things loud, and we were always the family. I would go to school. I'm like, Mom and Dad, how come no one else's parents argue like you guys? Well, because we're not like them. And I remember my mom saying, my dad's name's Richard, Dick, people can hear you outside. And my dad's like, I don't care. And they weren't crazy loud, but he would open, he goes, who cares, Donna? This is our family. This is who we are. So although we weren't, they always say the traditional, the Italian, the big, the talking.
Right.
My mom used to tell people we were Italian because we were so boisterous, but we're actually Irish Catholic, which is close enough.
it's just an eye.
In similarity. So yeah, fourth of 5. I've got 3 brothers and a sister. My father's basically a PhD chemical engineer, so very like this, with a minor in math. From there, my mother is interior designer. So she was a combination. Oh, and picture Rose from the Golden Girls.
Yes.
With Auntie Mame, that was my mom. I mean, everything was, the cup was never half empty or half full. My dad would always say, Donna, I don't understand how you see life. Everything is just, and she would say, honey, you can always refill the glass. So no matter what it was, empty or full, she goes, just refill it and keep going. But she consumed life, and she radiated, and it was the complete. My father was always the protector. He was the deacon of the church. He was always my favorite thing he ever told me. He's told me many, many brilliant things. I remember coming home from a soccer game, and I was incredibly upset, and I may have wanted to fight someone on
Maybe.
my own team. Which isn't right, and I got so perturbed. My dad pulled me aside, and again, I think I was like 9 or 10, and he goes, Scott, how did he phrase it? He goes, there is nothing in this world that you can do to anyone that they haven't done for themselves, done to themselves. He never spoke poorly about anybody. Mm-hmm. Never. My mom would have the Tupperware parties. Everyone would get together and then talk tea. Never malice, but just total fun. And my dad he's like, okay, Donna. Okay, Donna. And all the girls would say, come on, Dick, go over there, go watch football. But no, he was just we just celebrated his 80th birthday right around your dad's.
Yeah.
Because your dad's is the
80th, 25th.
And my dad's the 23rd. So we were all just down there again. I bet they would be good friends.
Oh, are you kidding? They would have the best time. We should do that. I should take my dad to Florida.
My dad's not a really big communicator.
It's all right. My dad will do it all for him.
Will he?
Yes, he loves to communicate.
Oh, no, I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
All you have to do is just receive the communication and nod. And he's good.
No, I love it. But, and it's funny, you and I were talking that one time with your friend Barbara.
Yes. Barb King, who we love, Valley Forge Flowers.
Adore everything about her. And Katie's there. We're all, and Katie, Barbara, and I have colorful families.
Yes.
And we were explaining to Barbara and our friends there why we are the way we are.
Was that Mexican night? We were at this Mexican restaurant. We had the best time.
And I'll never forget. So we're all telling our outlandish stories, and we have time. I'll give you some doozies on my end, fun ones.
Yeah.
And finally, we look over, and Lisa goes, "I don't know why I am the way I am."
Yeah, I have no excuse. Really, it was awesome. I have no reason to be a complete neurotic mess, but what are you gonna do?
But it was so
I had to
perfect.
develop all my own neuroses. They had theirs handed to them. I did the hard work. All right, I worked for my neuroses. Thank you very much. You just grew up with them like everybody else.
And you start to think it's normal.
Yeah.
Oh no, and I enjoy it now.
I enjoy it because he just tells me about it, and then it's all good.
I have a really, really good group of people that I get to call family.
By the time I met you, your mother had something happen in her life that was...
So, all my mom ever wanted growing up, her mom was a businesswoman. And back in the day, you figure my mom's 77. So picture her mom, and back in the day, the women weren't the head of the household.
Right.
And she really worked incredibly hard and had her own interior design and furniture shop. And all my mom ever wanted to do was get married and have a bunch of kids. And my grandmother apparently would cry nonstop saying, Donna, don't, just get a job, and if you don't want to marry a man, great. If you don't. And there's 5 of us. So every time my mom would call my grandmother to say, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. My grandma Ferguson would just bawl. Why? Stop. And my poor mom, all she ever wanted was 5 girls. I just want a house full of girls. And she has 4 boys and 1 girl.
Oh!
So my point being, her whole life was family. My dad coached every single one of our teams. 5 kids, that's every sport. When I was, I think, in 5th grade for the state of Florida, he got Father of the Year. I mean, he's just an amazing human being. And my mom was the one who was at the nurse's office every Friday. She volunteered at each of the elementary, middle, and high school, because we all went to the same schools throughout. And everything was homemade lunches, homemade dinners, the bread sitting outside. It was kitten. And her therapist, she said, was playing tennis. Well, in 2001, I had just moved back from Africa and was working down south, back in South Florida. My mom was going to a tennis tournament, and afterwards, she's that woman. She had baked cakes and all this stuff. And all the tennis players were like, Donna, we're out here to lose weight. Why do you bring all this food? And she's like, come on, we can talk afterwards. She didn't want to come back to all of us is basically what it was, try to extend it. But she was on the way to the tournament. And I was born and raised in the same house down in South Florida. And the tennis center is probably a 10-minute drive. at the city center, and my mom was stopped to turn left, and she got hit from behind, and she became a quadriplegic, which could have been her worst thing in the world, because the woman never sat still, and like I said, her therapy would between the tennis, she would at 2 a.m. she would be up cleaning or starting. She was that person who would not sit still, and I'll never forget. I took the phone call, and if you remember, September 11th had just happened. So then October 30th happened. I took the phone call, and at first I was like, oh, she probably got... They said, can you please come down to the hospital? Your mother's been in a car accident. And they were trying to contact my siblings and my father and whatnot. And it was around 8:45. I drive on down, and her best friend, and they have been friends since middle school. She's my godmother, Penny Petrollo. She answers, and she's just bawling. And she's like, it's not good, it's not good. And right there, I was like, okay, this isn't... It's never what you expect. But, how should I say? God's good. The doctor we were with said, okay, we don't know if she's going to make it. Maybe 4 hours, she'll blood clot. She ended up breaking her C5, C6, which is kind of far up, and it was and my dad, powerful man, just went limp because my mom ran the house.
Yeah.
My dad thought we're his children. It's his house. Okay, do you not agree, all you moms out there?
Yeah.
And we had her trauma hawked down to Miami Project. My brother's the captain of Palm Beach County Fire Patrol, so he came. Again, that's right after September 11th, so there was the big ode still with the firefighters. He came in full uniform, drove it down to Miami, went to the Nick Bonicati Center, to Dr. Barth Green, and you can't get in there, and it's incredibly hard, and my brother's 6'8". So I'm the smallest one in my family, except for my sister, who's 5'10". Goes in there, full uniform, comes through, and Dr. Green sees the x-rays and says, your mom's going to be in a wheelchair for a while. I don't know how long. And his whole point was, we don't know the answers. We still don't understand the body. And she was in the hospital for 9 months. I started sleeping there at night. And Lisa can let you know, my past life, I may have been in skincare. So I was
Maybe.
And my sister was as well. So I spent the night there, and I spent the nights there. We'd all rotate. The first month and a half, she was basically in a medically induced coma. They had done the operation, this and that. Long story short, this is my mom, which is perfection. She comes to, for the first year and a half, nothing could move and she couldn't feel anything. So they had a little thing you could blow into if you needed something. My mom is 5'9", 5'10", sandy blonde, but she was a redhead with green eyes, just stunning, big cheekbones, as Irish as you get. And she comes through, and she's up in heaven now. She would kill me.
She'll have a word with you when you get
trust
there.
me. She talks to Olive all the time. I hear it from Olive all the time. Grandma says, she looks side to side, and she goes, okay, what's going on? And she had woken up a couple of times beforehand, but it hadn't all settled in.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting over there, I'm like, Mom, you're paralyzed. And she goes, wait, what? I go, you're paralyzed. You were in a car accident over a month ago, this. There wasn't a scratch on her entire body. Not a scratch. She had her seatbelt on, everything was just a perfect break. That being said, she looks over and she is like, oh my gosh, and she goes, well, tell me what happened. I went through the story, and she looks at me, and she's like, I can't believe this. So I look at her and I go, Mom, all of us kids are raised. Everyone does very well. You mean, no one's on drugs, we're all being good.
Right.
Yeah, and everyone has their job and their home and is successful and happy, and most of us have been married off by then. And I go, we can take care of Dad, so please, if you don't want to be here, I go, don't do this for us, because I couldn't picture her life knowing how active she was. And this is Donna. Her birth name's Madonna, which is Allah's middle name. This is Donna. She looks over at me and she goes, oh my gosh, are you going to kill me? I go, what? She goes, are you going to try to kill me? I go, no, Mom. But
That's what I'm saying.
She goes, I'm crying. And hand to God, I'm crying because do you know how blessed I am? And so I look around, I'm like, is there like a drip on her? Is she on morphine? What's going on? I go, Mom, you're paralyzed. She goes, do you understand? I have driven that street your entire life. And my oldest brother's 11 years older. So there's about a total of 14-year age gap between all the kids. She goes, my entire life with all of you kids in the car. She goes, if I would have gotten hit with you children in the car and anything happened to you, or if I would have gotten hurt and couldn't take care of my own children, she goes, then I would have thought God forsaken me. She goes, I'm kind of excited. She goes, this happened for a reason. She goes, Scott, my arthritis was killing me. And she literally just turned it on a nutshell. And she looks at me and she goes, did your sister send my makeup down? I go, yes. She goes, can you put my face on? Because she never left the house without eyes, even to take us when we were little kids to school, to take the trash out. She goes, can you put my face on? I go, okay. I go, why? And she goes, have you seen that doctor? He is so cute. Which is Dr. Barth Green. And I kid you not, so I start combing her hair back and I go, so, are we going to a bar or are we going to church? What face am I giving you? She goes, you know I want my smoky eyes. And I'm like, Mom, it's 7 a.m. She goes, the doctors make their rounds at 8. I need the full face on. And literally, it was from that point on that she never, ever... I mean, she would get... It would hit her, of course, every so often. And the first grandchild was born in January afterwards. So that was a big deal for her. And I think that was a big motivating factor for her to get as much back as she can. But no, so that's the lucky stock that I have running through me.
That's amazing.
I mean, but think... When you think about all the craziness in this world, and all the noise that comes at us, in the end, and I don't know most of you, we're all incredibly blessed. All this noise means nothing. We all want the same thing. You know what I mean? It's protecting our family. It's love. It's when everyone goes after money and all of this. I always say I'd love to have more money. I could help more people. You mean your siblings, your neighbors, anyone out there to help. In the end, you got your health, you got your family, you know what I mean? And we were all born and we were given dreams. And we were given voices. Some of ours are louder than others, but I always say there's things that are in you, and that's your blessing, and that's what I always say is our goal to bring out of ourselves. But no, and that's my mom. Nothing was ever bad.
You know, it's so interesting to hear you talk about putting makeup on your mom. And it's one of those things.
Do you want me to
where,
do your face?
Yes. No, but it's one of those things where I think, you know, sometimes you look at things that women like to talk about and like to shop for, and it's makeup and it's jewelry and clothes and things like that, and you just think, yeah, it's so shallow. But there's so much more to it for a woman. And when my mom was, was very sick at the end, and we all went down for a few months, and every morning when I was there, I would do her makeup, and she felt absolutely beautiful. And people would come over and say, Charlene, you look amazing. And she would just radiate, thank you. And by the way, she did. She just looked at, it made her feel so good. Beauty comes from within.
Because if there is something about the human spirit that cannot be cracked. You mean, and as long as you can feed that part of your soul and keep that going, and that's why the first time Dr. Barth Green came in and saw her face on, he goes, "Can I speak to you out in the hallway, Scott?" So I went out there, and he's like, "Your mom's going to be fine." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, did a new test come out? Did we find something?" Because at the time it was the stem cells, and they said you might be able to go to Israel and get it done, but it's not approved in the U.S. But it has to be done between a certain window. So I'm like, "Were we approved? What's going on?" And he goes, "Any woman who's going to put her face on." He goes, "She's not done. She's going to be fighting for a very long time." And that, I still think women are natural born fighters.
Yeah.
Y'all are strong as can be. You have to play. You're more characters. You've been socialized so differently than a man. I say that with 4 boys and 1 girl, and I watched my sister, and my parents were, again, they're amazing, but my sister had to do everything we did. She played the sports, all-state shot put, discus, basketball, track, tennis, everything. But at the same time, she was still had to upkeep inside the house. Right. We mowed the yard. She had to mow the yards. I mean, it was all there. But yet, I always joke around. I remember she came out from college one time, and we're all working out, and my dad comes out, and my sister was just like strong. And my dad goes, "My only girl can beat up all of my boys." But fast forward 10 years later, she's the president of a almost $1 billion corporation. Yeah. I mean, just so you know, these two, Lisa and my sister,
dangerous,
are very, 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 very similar entities, which I think why you and I gravitated so quickly.
Yeah.
Because I understood this particular brand of crazy.
Yeah. It's so, not unique.
No, well then I'm going to flip it then on you.
Okay.
Your family.
Yeah.
Because you're an incredibly strong person.
Some people call it stubborn, so it's nice of you to choose a kinder adjective.
No, but I mean...
You know what he just said? I'm going to fight you. That's what he just said. That's what he always says. I'm going to fight you.
No, one of the hardest things in life is change at any level. And it can be the smallest amount of change. I think as humans, we get in a very comfortable place in our lives. And it's a lot easier to say, well, you know what, it just didn't work out. I tried everything. Or no, or this is my life. This is who I am.
Well, this is it.
And,
you know.
And everything that you have achieved throughout your life and doing it your way. I'm going to quote you. I'm not going to quote you because I'm so bad at quotes. Your hometown made...
Oh, Mayberry. No, Footloose.
Look liberal.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
heathens.
and look at the trajectory of your life and what you've accomplished. And what you've accomplished solely by yourself. Friends, family, yes.
Yes.
But your mind, your drive, going for it. And, you know, it's hard when you're in a world of men.
You know, it's interesting.
You don't have to answer any of that.
You know, what's funny is, so two things. Number one, I knew that I should have known, and everyone around me should have known that this would be where I would end up. When I grew up in a town that did not believe in wearing jewelry. This was completely unacceptable. And in second grade, Chris McKee and I were courtesy king and queen, and I got a cardboard crown that was painted gold, and it had little plastic gems on it. And I took the gems off, and I cut pieces of construction paper and glued them, and I made rings out of them. Scandalous. Scandalous. Mrs. Robertson, the second grade teacher, called my parents. I was corrupting the entire second grade class.
But don't you think I think like I said, when I say the blessings are the gifts, my mom used to always say, Scott, you are born with a basic personality. You can work very hard and go 10% either way. But the same way you come in this world is the same way you're going to leave this world.
Yeah.
And she goes, the beautiful thing that God blesses you is you do not have to become the man or woman you're meant to be until you take your last breath. She goes, that is what you are here to do. So these are all, do you ever hear that saying, I go all over the place, sorry. Do you know where the wealthiest place in the world is?
Palm Beach?
Not Dubai, not Palm Beach. Now this is sad. The graveyard. Think about everything that people want to do. Think about everyone out there who loved to sing but never went for it. Mm-hmm. Think about everyone who wanted to be a designer. Think anyone to be an athlete. Whatever that was when you were that little girl or little boy that was in you, that was given to you. And they say there's nothing worse than going to your grave and dying with your dreams inside you. Not to be a doggy downer, but so that's my whole point. Go for it. Life is too short.
Yeah.
All the noise means nothing. I was talking to a girlfriend who's at John Hardy, and she was having a tough time, and I said to her, I have a question. When you walk your dog down the street at home and all the other dogs are barking, do you stop at every single dog that barks at you? She goes, no. I go, then why do you listen to all of this? Yeah. It's just barking. You know where you're supposed to go. Go for it.
And now you know why I hang out with him.
And I haven't had one drink.
You have had 20 hours of driving.
I gotta tell you, I don't know if you can tell, my eyes are burning. I'm there.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how you're still conscious.
But I put my La Mer on.
There you go. So let's talk about when you were a supermodel.
Oh my gosh. That was when my metabolism and I were still friends.
Very good friends.
No, again, I'm blessed. And if you were to use a couple words that I would use to describe myself, blessed and incredibly grateful. And remember I texted you the other day a picture of Olive, and you were so sweet about it. I texted and I forget what she was doing. I go, I don't know how I got so lucky in life. And Lisa's like, because you worked hard, you made the right decisions, you stayed true to yourself. And it was very complimentary, and I felt I felt like you meant it. I mean, cause my friends be like, oh, and I love my friends out there, but they have to love me. They've known me since I've been 4 years old.
But I think most people, the thing that I've always admired about Scott is I think that most people are kind of along for the ride. Life is the log flume at Six Flags. And they are.
I almost had to ask you what a flume is.
They're in the little thing, and they're going down the log flume, and wherever it ends up is where they end up. And
there's nothing wrong if they like that.
Yeah,
if that's the personality, if that's who they are.
The thing that I find interesting is that Scott is been very conscious. You're very conscious of what you want. And that's what you're working for. And you don't get distracted, and you don't let other people get in your head, and you don't let them mess you up with what they want, and you don't care what society says you should want or you should do or you should be.
And don't get me wrong, it took me a lot.
Well, 'cause-
and I'm not even there. I mean, this is also
but
someone
you
who
wanted one person. You wanted to be in love. You wanted to build a life with that person. You wanted to have a family.
And like I say, and I was lucky that I had my parents, because I didn't come out till I was 30 years old. And it came out as a reason. I was I grew up on the beach, so it was 2 a.m, and I was just having a horrible time. And I've always known who I was and always hated it. And I figured that was the cross that I was given to bear. But I also know God doesn't make mistakes. So it was all these voices in my head, and my mother had been in the car accident. So I kept thinking, I cannot let this woman die not knowing who I am. And how would I live the rest of my life not honoring her with enough respect and knowing that she loves me without telling her? Mm-hmm. So of course I do it my way. It's 2 a.m, and the ocean's always been my therapist. So I'm floating out in the ocean, and I'm like, okay, I'm 40, so 13 years ago, and I'm like, I could drink all the ocean up and I'm done. And I'm not want to kill myself, but I was like, sometimes it's just a lot. Everything, mm-hmm. And that's 30 years of not liking yourself. And I had my board shorts on. I got in my Jeep. I drove over to my parents' house because she's paralyzed. There was a code. I go in. My poor dad. He jumps.
What time is it now? 2 in the morning? 3 in the morning?
3 and change. He jumps. My dad doesn't drink, smoke. He's such a good man. Not there's anything wrong with drinking or smoking. I don't smoke. So my dad jumps up and he's like, "Are the cops here? Oh my gosh, did you kill someone? What's going on?" He's asleep. And my mom is paralyzed in her bed, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I'm just bawling. So I told them, and my mom just cried, and she kept saying, "I'm so mad, I'm paralyzed, I should be holding you, I should be hugging you, get over here, put your head on me, this. And my dad just kept saying, "Wait, what? Are you sure all the girls love you? You were the homecoming, you were everyone, are you?" And my mom just like, "Leave him up." I mean, it was such steel magnolias. It was so perfect, that route. And at that point, I think everything came off my shoulders. And my father looked at me and I go, "Dad, I need you to understand, if anyone says anything about a gay person or this or that," I go, "they're not talking about me. If someone says Scott Grimes is a jerk, a whatnot, then get angry."
Yeah.
I go, "But I don't represent anybody but myself." I go, "And I need to make sure that you know that you didn't do anything wrong, because there's still a stigma there." Again, my father was the deacon of our church. So there's still, and he sat there and he goes, "You think I care what anyone says about this family?" And he stood up all grandiose. I go, "Dad, you've got a wife who's paralyzed. You now have a gay son. Your only daughter's not even sure if she wants to marry the man she's been with for 14 years. And he's sitting there and he goes, "Who do you think? I signed up for you and your mom and your this." And then at that point I was like, if these people love me and I know God loves me, and from that point forward, it really was, everything came off my shoulders. So that's where now, the barking dogs, I spent 30 years being scared of it all.
Yeah.
And scared of everyone and making sure people like me. And I still, unfortunately, like people to like me.
Well,
it still hurts your feelings, but in the end, I go to bed by myself, I wake up by myself. I'm not taking my dreams to my grave. Mm-mm. You know what I mean? And so segue, with the John Hardy line coming to QVC, as silly as it is, I absolutely love jewelry. I love anything luxury. I love telling stories. I have an amazing ability that I get to travel the world and learn from these artists and communities. And I really do. I leave again. I'm going to Botswana for 2 weeks. Yeah, and I've been trying to get her to go, but Miss Busy.
Well,
she was supposed to go to India with me when I was doing India last year. We were this close, all this. I
want to sit back a little bit and be more comfortable.
I'm sorry. But I love my goal is to tell stories, but also QVC is an amazing, is the word medium? That allows you to reach so many people, but to put more love out there. And to let people realize that in the end, it is life. I may be introducing jewelry to you, but I like to do jewelry with meaning. Yeah. Something that tells a story, something that I think
like
you
your
would...
ring?
Oh, yes. Is that not heaven?
It is. This is the ring that he does for the J line, and it's literally Olive's little hands around his finger, and it's so sweet. It's so sweet.
So I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. When
That's what
Olive-
we're all ADD, honey. It just makes us all go together.
But I think Olive was a month old, and I had to go back to Bangkok for work, and I was going to be gone for 2 weeks. So I had, the first language you learn is touch. You mean, and then it's the smell, and I want you to think about when a child is born, what's the first thing they do? They take the hand and they go like this to check the reflexes. Okay. And then from there, my mom passed away July 30th last year. Not this year, the last year. And yet I was there when she was taking her last breath. I was incredibly blessed to be there, holding her hand, and what do they just keep doing? You just keep touching and touching and touching. So when I went to Bangkok and leaving Olive with James, and I'm selfish, so I wanted my mom to be around Olive as much as possible. So I was like, James, you have to stay at my house, at my parents' house. He's like, serious? I go, James, she's paralyzed.
You listen to him working it when you need it.
Oh, trust. I go, come on. He's like, really? And he has a great relationship with them. I go, please. So I brought a picture of Olive holding my hand. So I worked with our team. We sketched it out, and then the artisans crafted it. So I call it the I love ring, which is an anagram for Olive. And on the inside, I put a heart. So therefore, you can engrave anyone's initials. Because I still say, although, and it can be anyone, a friend, a spouse, someone who's here with you, someone who's passed away, although they hold your hand for a moment in time, they have your heart forever.
Yeah.
And don't you think, in the end, I personally think what you're doing now is the most amazing thing you've done in your career, personally. And I think you guys can attest to this. People are going to forget what Lisa Robertson created, what she designed, all of that stuff. They will not forget how you made them feel. In the end, it's all people remember is how you... Think about the different fights you've had. You can never remember the word, but you remember how you feel.
Oh, yeah.
Think about, what is it that when you see that loved one, that family, tears start coming. It's that feeling. So this is what, I think it's great. You've created this community. You mean, and finally someone taking advantage of this social media instead of just plastering negativity and all the down issues with the world. And I still think the world's getting better and better. I think there's amazing opportunity. I look at Olive, and there's our future. Yeah. I look at the fact that, and this is nothing political, so please, the fact that you have more women getting higher in power in businesses, and 50 years ago there was no voting? Think about how much everything has been elevated. The world's going to continue to change. And as someone, I lived in Africa for 6.5, 7 years, and then I lived in Europe for about 8 years. I've had the opportunity to live in a lot of these nations, and even before John Hardy, I was with a brand called Creme de la Mer skincare brand, and I was global for them. I've had the opportunity to meet amazing people who on paper should hate me. And I meet them, and they're the same as me. It's the love, it's the family, they take you into their house, and then I would even be, oh, but you're not a typical American. And I'm like, okay, seriously? I'm as American. First off, I'm 10th generation. I should be in therapy. Look at my teeth. I like Oprah. Okay. I'm not stereotyping. That's what my British friends used to always say to me. Like, oh, you're an American. I go, what? You have nice teeth. Are you in therapy? I go, no, but there's potential. Yeah. And they go, do you like, and this is probably 15 years ago. They go, do you like Oprah? I go, yes.
Yeah. Who doesn't? Hello?
So yeah, that's a little bit of my story.
What I think is so interesting is that I think so many people don't realize their own power. I think so many people look at everyone else and think that everyone else is more powerful. Someone else has more money, someone else is more successful, someone else is more well-known, or they've done better at their job, or whatever it happens to be. But in reality, when you are communicating directly with another human being, you have exactly the same amount of power that every other human being does. And it is completely up to you what you are going to do with that. So if one of the things that amazes me is I think people are very casual with how they communicate with other people. And they react from a position of feeling inadequate or afraid or sad or angry, and they strike out because they don't think they have any effect on anyone else. You absolutely have an effect on someone else. And when you look at the world, I look at the world and I think, oh my gosh, in some ways we are becoming less civilized, less caring, less kind. That really bothers me. But if you every day, with every single person you come in contact with, face to face or on Facebook or any other social media, you are either adding to the problem or you are adding to the solution. You are determining how you affect every other human being, and you affect them. I don't care if you never leave your house. You affect other people, and it's your responsibility to decide how you're going to do that, and you have to take responsibility for the effects that you have on them. And I just think people think, I'm not rich, I'm not famous, no one cares, it doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. People absolutely care.
And this is where sometimes I'm perplexed. And when people have such strong faith, and they have faith in the belief above, they don't have it in themselves. Yeah. And I always struggle with that because I have so many incredible people around me, and when the lights are down and they take off their armor, and they're just, and I look at them, I go, what is this? And like, oh, but I go, it does. It has to come from within, and you have to believe. I mean, not to go off. If you were to know the differences of James and I, we could not. He's the fifth of five, I'm the fourth of five. He comes from as rural and was counted out, never met his father. Mother was taken from him off this earth when he was 9 years old, and then then foster care didn't want him. And yet has created a life for himself. Yeah. And he created, this has nothing to do with me. You mean this is the life that he created. That's amazing. And I think we do have to work on ourselves and have the belief. Yeah. And
he is the most gentle, loving, warm,
our first
kind.
I think we've been together for 12 years. I think I spent the first year trying to get him to break up with me. I'm like, why are you with me? I have problems.
Have you met me? I'm a mess.
Yes. I don't even like to be with me 24 hours a day. The voices. Oh so yes.
Gosh, he's like mother love.
No, he is.
Yeah.
He's big. He's Miss Olive's Papa James.
It's so, I think the picture of them in the pool when she was taking swimming lessons was the sweetest thing.
So since she was 6 months old, she's been swimming lessons, and it's all the moms and James.
So cute.
And of course, we had to dress her. We had the little cap.
Oh, please, like Esther Williams.
Yes, it was total Esther with the little stripes on the bathing suit, the old-fashioned. It was so cute.
Oh my gosh, it was so cute. I mean, always so cute. All right, very quickly, as I sit here in my socks. So we've been talking amongst ourselves and not been saying hi to you. So we're going to say hi to you and see what you're doing. Sorry about that. All right. So wait, my contacts are completely messed up. So Zarifa was saying that she loved the conversation. She actually teared up a little. Noni is saying that she thinks that's been why she's been single for a long time, because it's hard to find good quality people. I think it is hard to find good quality people. And it's not that they're not capable of it. It's that I just think there are so many people who in one way or another are invested in giving you messages that make you believe it's not important for you to expect that of yourself, that as a society we don't expect as much of ourselves. Okay. And then we wonder why other people don't think as much of us. It's like, well, it's all about our own expectations of ourselves.
And I'll go on. And what was her name?
Noni.
So I remember with my sister, I finally had a conversation with her after, I think she was mid-30s, an incredibly successful, beautiful, a very amazing human being. And she introduced me to this guy, and he leaves, and I go, Mindy, just a quick question. And this is a horrible analogy, and I apologize, I don't want to be offensive. I go, stop going to the used car lot. Yeah. Why don't you get a new one? How come every man you bring, or you would introduce me to, it was always, this, but. This, but. I'm like, why do you have to take a butt? You put yourself here, you raise your bar, and her thing was, she goes, Scott, I'm successful. Mm-hmm. I'm tall. She goes, these are hard. High heels. She goes, these are hard things, and she goes, and a lot of men don't wanna deal with it. And again, she's then she married a 6'8" Frenchman.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Oh, can I tell you?
Yeah,
they're such good people.
Well,
I'll say this: she met her match.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's horribly bright.
Yes, and they have 3 Type A kids now, and I think it is awesome.
Oh my gosh. Joanne Heberling, she's on here a lot. She has a lot of great quotes and everything. She said, Scott is a beautiful person. I agree on that one. Krista said, Scott, I see where you derive your strength and zest for life. Definitely what tears us down raises us higher. God bless your mom. She did good. Blessings always. She wants you to write a book or a blog.
So, oh no, I've been hitting Lisa. I've got I probably have 5 outlines of books that I want to do. Mm-hmm. But can I do one last story of my mom?
I would love that.
Again, just so...
I've already told Scott he's required to come back for repeat appearances on this chat. It's going to be the Scott and Lisa show on a regular basis, so we have time.
No, because may I ask you, isn't it nice to know you're not alone?
Yeah.
I mean, because I think there's times we get stuck and to realize that in the end, we're all here together. And if you think about it, if anyone ever needed anything, you would do it. Mm-hmm. You would never walk up to someone and ask them what their religion, what their sexuality, what their vote. You wouldn't care. If someone needs help, you help them. Mm-hmm. That's who we are. But my thing about my mom, which when I was a kid, my mom would get so mad at me because I used to say, I used to pray, and she would get so upset. I used to pray that I would pass away before she did. Because I never wanted to live without her here. Because there was just something, she's my mom, there's just something heartwarming about her. And when she first got hurt in the accident, it shook me to my core, and I didn't want to leave her for about the first 2 years. I moved back into my parents' house. I had to bring a crisis intervention person in one time because I kind of became her protector, and we had to fix the house. I mean, it was crazy. And again, my dad is used to his ways. Yeah. So I'm like, Dad, just bring her some flowers. None of this stuff matters. Ask her how she's doing. He's like, but that's not in my DNA. I mean, his thing was you provide, you protect, all that stuff. And after being there for 2 years, my mom started getting better. She has been in physical therapy. In the end, she got her elbows to work, her wrist extenders work. She could feed herself. She was dressed to the T every single day. She was more active than my father, who had no technical impediment. So I tried to fix and create the life that I wanted her to have. And I brought a crisis intervention person in, and it was very... Picture my parents on this side of the room, and I'm over here, and this lady is here, and God bless her because she fixed me. And she goes, can you tell me, who are you? And my dad goes, I'm her husband, his father. And you? I'm his wife and his mom. And she goes, and you? I go, I'm known as the fourth. I'm the fourth one. And she goes, so you're not married to them? I go, no. She goes, then get out of here. She goes, get out of their marriage. And right there, it was clean.
Wow.
So that whole instance of having those 2 years with her in their home helped me, if you will, start to, I don't want to say separate, but get stronger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got a little more calloused. When she passed, she was in the ICU for 2 weeks. She ended up getting her lung collapse. And normally with a quadriplegic, it's about an average of 7 years. Thank gosh she was so healthy. And the doctor said, she was a ranked tennis player in Florida. And they said because she was so healthy and such an active lifestyle, nothing shut down. So it was almost 15 years. And again, half the battle was this, nothing happened here. So she was are you really going to wear that, Scott? No, Mom, I'm going to go home, change again, and see if you like this outfit. I'm here to barbecue. I mean, but this is the stuff. The fact that we were at my brother's house for a barbecue. My sister was in town. Everyone's there. It's been 2 weeks in the ICU. They had told us that either they can intubate her again, they can put the bypass on her, or a trach. She's completely lucid, but the lung wouldn't perform by itself. We all got to go in there and talk to her. Mm-hmm. I mean, who gets the chance? I mean, and it hits hard. And if you really want to cry, remember Terms of Endearment? Oh God, do you all remember Terms of Endearment? Please say yes. And Deborah Winger has to say goodbye to her kids and that little boy. So now just picture me 42 years old, and and I got to ask my mom every single question. Were you happy? Did you get what you want? Is this what, I mean, it was such nice closure because she was lucid. The lung wouldn't work. But she sat there and she goes, Scott, all I ever wanted was children and to get married. And she goes, and look at this, I have 5 kids, I have 7 grandkids. And she goes, yes, your father, allowed to say ass? Your father's a pain in my ass, but he's mine. Yeah, I mean, she goes, he's a good guy. She goes, he needs help, okay? And that's why we're here for him. I mean, but it was such, and I said, I go, how do I find you when you're gone? You mean, and I go, are you going to be the butterfly? My mother loves daisies. Are you going to be a daisy? And she's got the tears streaming, and we were past the ugly crying. You know, it's just ugly, like everything's going. And we're looking, it was just incredibly peaceful. And she had made the decision that she didn't want the trach. She didn't want any of this stuff. And she turns to me and she goes, anytime you look at your family, that is where I'm going to be. Like this little one.
Speaking of which.
Come here, Miss Olive.
Hi, honey.
Are you okay, Boo Boo Brown? And
You
so,
okay?
but she said, so just like this one, that's a perfect cue. They said, Donna is everywhere. This is little Donna Grimes.
Yeah.
Aren't she? Where's Grandma?
Up heaven.
She went up to heaven? You guys had tea parties, don't you? So yeah, no matter, so my message would be, no matter how crazy your life is, look at the small blessings that fill your days every single day. And I think we forget about that.
Yeah.
You mean, and it doesn't have to be big and grandiose. It could be, I used to say to my dad, I go, how's today going? He goes, well, I woke up, it started off good. I mean, so I do.
far, so good.
No, very much so. So
Yeah.
it's this, everything's distraction.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of distraction. And I think that with all the technology,
You can't
you
unplug.
have no time by yourself. I mean, you're never truly alone where you just have time to process your own thoughts.
Ask James.
And I think it just
spin
makes you a
about it.
little...
No, and it's true. I
Yeah.
finally have to turn it off. I was up at 4 a.m. I can't sleep in a Best Western very well next to the highway with the noise. So 4 a.m, I always tell myself I'm not going to read the newspapers, and I start reading everything. Who's that? Is that you?
What you doing?
Do you want to say you want to say hi to Lisa's tribe? You are such a good girl.
Oh, maybe you should go get the gift you got for Lisa.
You want to go show them what you got for Lisa? It's over there. You want to go get
You know
it?
where it is?
Yeah. Papa will help you. I gotta tell you,
She's so perfect.
I'm enjoying.
She's so perfect.
Isn't she?
Oh my gosh.
But what did you guys? You guys said you would take her till she's 13, then you would send her back down to me.
Oh, yeah.
Doris and
Doris and
Lisa
I-
were like, "We'll take her now
I
when
know,
she's
we're like, you know
13.
what?
She's going back."
Quit being selfish and just have one for us. Because we're not going to be getting around to that at this phase in our lives. He was like, no, I'm sending her to you when she's 13. What is that, Olive? What is that?
Did you get that from Miss Lisa?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Do you love it?
Mm.
Look at she.
And you got
did
one
you see
from
this?
Miss Katie?
Oh,
Did
where's
you get one
Katie's?
from Miss Katie?
Did you see when you kissed her? She even does this. She puts the foot up. And I was worried having two guys raise her. That is the girliest girl.
Oh, are you kidding?
She will not. I had a fight with her to put the jeans on because it's colder up here than it is in
Yeah,
South Florida.
she only wants dresses.
She wants dresses every single day. I don't want my hair in a ponytail. I want it down.
She's going to give Katie hers.
Aww.
It's so pretty.
You were such a
Thank
sweet girl.
you. You're so sweet, Olive.
Did you hear? And for me.
Oh my gosh, the pictures of you two though. Katie and I always talk about, oh my gosh, you just see the picture of Olive today. Oh my gosh, you just see the picture of Scott and Olive today.
Do you want to show them yours?
Yeah, can you stand over here in the center
Show
and
it.
show them yours?
See the camera right there, Boo Boo Brown?
Yeah.
Isn't that your pumpkin? Did you tell them what you're going to be for Halloween?
I want to be a butterfly.
A butterfly.
Ooh,
And maybe
pretty.
Papa and I will be butterfly catchers. How about that? What do you want Papa to be?
I want to be Papa to be a catcher.
A butterfly catcher?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Do you have the costume yet?
No, James makes everything.
Get out.
Oh, please.
I want a butterfly costume. Do you do adult sizes?
He's got the sewing machine, the whole kit and caboodle. I was never a Halloween person. My mom always was, so we were always dressed up, don't get me wrong. Even paralyzed. She used to sit in her wheelchair fully decked as a witch with the makeup. She would get the
No.
gummy worms and put it out of the mouth. And since she couldn't move, she put the cauldron of candy.
Right.
And again, we're born and raised in this house, so everyone in town knows my parents, and especially my mom. They used to call her the garage psychiatrist. Because even when she was paralyzed, she would literally, every night around 5 o'clock, put her chair out there, and within a half hour, all the moms would bring, remember the old metal chairs?
Yes!
Bring the old metal ones, they would sit there, and they're all probably, they were a new generation of families that had moved in, so their
Yeah.
kids were teeny, and they would say, Donna, how did you do this? She goes, honey, there's a glass of wine in the fridge in the garage. Pour yourself a glass, come sit down here, and I'll tell you how to survive.
Oh
And they
my
would,
gosh.
everyone just, her funeral was standing room only, over 600 and something people
Yeah.
came through.
You got that from your mom.
What part?
Being everyone's kind of psychiatrist, in a way.
Very much so, but
Yeah.
I hope I can sort myself out a little quicker than she sorted her. Oh my gosh. No, life is, again, I have to say, grateful, blessed, and I'm still neurotic. Don't get me
Wow.
wrong.
Yeah.
And if James had a solo time with y'all, he would be like, okay, here's the scoop.
Here's the deal.
No, so thinking I get to travel the world,
Yeah.
exploring places that I could never, ever, ever dream of going to.
When
and
are you
bring it to
going
life.
to Botswana?
Can you go? Originally, it was the first 2 weeks in November, and I pushed it to the first 2 weeks of January because I've gone before to already.
When is Vicenza, Kate? I can meet you there from Botswana.
Why don't you design clothing, and we'll shoot it on a safari?
Right, because I have time to design it, get it made, and go on safari with you.
Oh,
and
did you
shoot
hear
pictures.
this? Wah, 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 wah.
Next time. I can wear some jewelry on safari,
but can't you picture it?
I love that. I would love that. Are you
No,
kidding?
so yeah, I get to go to back to Botswana for 2 weeks to launch the new collection. I can't tell you what it's going to be, but you're gonna love it.
I love it. Well, you know, it's so funny because I was talking to the one of the women on my Facebook page, and she was saying that she met you once when you were at Neiman Marcus and
Okay.
a trunk show with John Hardy, and it was it was really nice.
That was an amazing. If those of you who aren't aware of John Hardy, it's handmade jewelry in Bali that's been around for over 40 years, and it literally is every piece is made by hand.
Mm-hmm.
From the initial sketch all the way to the wax carving, the stones are all hand cut. And normally in silver jewelry, people don't do that
No,
anymore
no,
because
it's too
you can never
expensive.
get your return, and they refuse. And the beautiful thing is, there are close to 900 employees on the compound, and it's a sustainable farm to the point where you could knock it down in 3 days. You would never know. Everything's built on stilts. They shut the compound down at 1 o'clock. Everyone's fed an organic lunch. Bali is about 90% Hindu. They don't practice the art of warfare. There is no confrontation. Everything's about the meditation. Remember I did that meditation thing when I went to Phuket for 2 weeks? So I'll go back, but I'm all about trying to learn new things.
Right.
And so I,
you
remember that?
meditating.
Okay, you guys, seriously. Well, I run a lot because it calms me down. So I did about a 10-day Buddhist meditation retreat in Phuket in south of Thailand.
I couldn't
For-
even begin.
Oh no, it was a vegan. I don't read all the details. So you get there and you had to speak. You could only have mindful conversations, which means don't talk the entire time you're here. There was, not that I need a drink, but there was no alcohol, there was no soda, and there was minimal meals. So you're just supposed to, and then
So you just starve in silence?
I mean, I lost 10 pounds, so I was like, okay, there's a good thing. And I wanted to learn more and more. And the funny thing was, because like I said, if you ever panned over and saw Lisa's books and every philosophy and religion, everything that she constantly dives into, I love
Yeah.
to learn as much as possible about everything out there.
Yeah.
So I figured if I get out there, let's really dive in there. And I'm being taught, and I'm 6'2", and I crack, so I'm trying to... You have to sit in the poses, and they're like, breathe through the pain. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hurt you, and I know this isn't
Oh, my
very.
joints
oh no!
would not
And it's
take
the
that.
cracking. Everyone's quiet, so every time I would move, and everyone would look over. I'm like, you should be meditating.
Yeah, really. Don't let
Don't
this
judge
interfere.
me. And at the end, you had to sit there, and Scott, I have a question for you. As they were, and did you get what you came here for? Did you learn what you wanted to learn? And the funny thing was, I didn't find the answers that I thought I was looking for, but it strengthened all my other beliefs. Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. It was interesting. It was a very.
I would never make it. I would never even begin.
I mean, I love the philosophies.
Yeah.
I love-
As a spectator sport. Are you kidding?
was-
The voices in my head would never be quiet for 10 days. I can't even go to sleep at night.
5 a.m. on the beach for 2 hours, and you're not supposed to sleep. I would get to. I'm like, I'm like, and then at one point I'm like, I must be getting really good at this because I don't even remember being here. And then they would come by, and there was a very, very sweet English couple in their 70s, and the wife was all about it. Eat, pray, love, let's go for it. The husband was like, what am I doing here? And she forced him to go, and he would try to hide out in the back and smoke a cigarette. And I was like, you're gonna get in trouble. And I'm like, do you have anything to drink? And they're like, a beer. If you can get beer for me, I won't tell your wife that you're smoking a cigarette on your retreat.
There you go.
No, I met some great people.
I would never be able to make it. I mean, I want to go to any country where people live completely differently than I live and believe completely differently than I believe. And I want to see how they do it and see that, you know what, they're fine.
Yes. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well,
they're
no. What
they're
about
cool.
your crazy Cambodia?
Oh, yeah.
That was life-changing for you, too.
Yeah. So I have to say, and very, very quickly, Katie, what time is
It's
it?
9.
Oh, shoot. 9:01.
It's not my fault. I'm a chatty Cathy.
When are you coming back?
I'm back here. I've got shows, I think the 15th, 16th, and 17th of October.
We're in Japan.
You're in Japan? Oh my God, we're in Japan.
When are you back after that?
Isn't that so? I'm sorry. It's October. Must be Japan. I'm back here throughout. I've got November, December. I've got lots of
You
new
have to
designs
come
coming
back.
out. Oh, we totally will.
Yeah.
But can we also get Doris one time to be?
Oh, I already told her.
Okay.
Oh, so she's coming for her first chat next week.
Okay, then you have to start letting people phone in. Because I will phone in and
I'd like to use my lifeline.
yes, I will call it out on Doris.
Oh my gosh. And then because I wanted to have one with her.
Yes.
And then I said, and then when Scott is in town.
Can we get Barbara too?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, how much
Lisa
do I
has a
love her.
really, really good group of strong core
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who,
They're awesome
well, they're in,
and funny.
yes, and they don't take themselves serious.
No.
What you always see like this, they don't take themselves serious,
No,
which
they don't.
which is nice.
Yeah. They're awesome. I can't believe an hour is gone already. Okay. You have
I
to promise
apologize
me-
for going off on tangents, y'all, and I don't.
That's
I'm
what
not
you're
even. But I'm not even
supposed to
sure what I even said to
do.
y'all now.
This was just the introduction, and then you'll come back and we'll do it again, and we'll just keep, because trust me, like you and I would ever run out of things to talk about.
No.
And by the way, we just talked amongst ourselves tonight. We didn't even talk to other people. We were so talking
I
amongst
apologize.
ourselves. Sorry about that. All right, I want to thank all of you so much for joining us tonight, and I think that you can see why Scott is one of my favorite people in the entire world, and why Olive is pretty much perfect, and James is the embodiment of love and compassion and caring.
You're so sweet.
I just could not love a family more, and thanks for letting me hang out with you when I was in LA. That was so
Oh no, it was awesome.
that was so great. So we'll see you next time you're in. We'll be gone,
I'll be-
but
I'll be
after
in-
that.
you back in November?
Yep.
Okay. No, I'm definitely back here in November. And if
Okay.
you guys get bored, come over and see me.
Oh, that's right. I meant to. I'm telling you. Sorry. So this is the multicolored
I saw
sapphire.
that. That is gorgeous.
It's coming up tomorrow. Gorgeous.
And you've got almost every color in the rainbow there, don't you?
yes,
Sapphires.
yeah, all beautiful, natural from origin sapphires. Love, love, love.
Stunning.
Yeah, I love this one, and I love the fact that
And
it's
it's
in
so
black
hard to get.
rhodium.
There's something rich about it.
It's very cool. Very,
And,
very cool.
And then what do you have in between?
Little white topaz, little bezel set white.
So it's
topaz.
going to play off of everything.
Yeah, it's going to work with everything. So this is coming up tomorrow. These are going to be probably starting Sunday night when we have our chat, and then we have a lot more coming up next week too.
I like
but
the
this is
monogram.
gorgeous. Thank you. Do you like my little logo?
Very, very much so.
Thanks. I
It's a
do
good
too.
font.
Thanks.
Okay, so if you guys are bored, come hit me at J Jewelry for QVC. I post
Yeah.
lots of photos and fun
Yes.
stories.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
We-
as you can see. As you can
While
see.
she's in Japan, I'll give you the dirt.
Don't make me don't think I won't come back and find you. That's all I'm saying.
love it.
All I'm saying. Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff from Japan. We're going to be doing live video chats live from Kyoto, Japan.
That is phenomenal.
It's so great. We did some in Italy, and they were so much fun. Weren't they so much fun? Just
I
walking
wa-
around. We were all walking
Please,
around
I was
Venice
watching them.
together. And
I watched you eat gelato.
well, it's important to share.
Oh, do you know I lived in Italy for 3 years,
I'm so.
and I went
jealous.
to Parlo Italiano. Ho lavorato a Milano per 2 anni, ho studiato a Siena. So I went to an Italian university. I don't know what I was thinking, because I didn't speak Italian when I got there, but I pretended I did. And then all my math, everything was taught in Italian. You know how hard that is when you're not even good at math? You have to take it down in Italian, go home and translate it, and then go put it back into a town. Oh, I had headaches. I hated it, but I learned. I loved it. Lived in Siena.
Oh my gosh, Sienna's so
Yes.
beautiful. I think that's one of the places we're going to visit this time because we're going to be.
Okay, then my goal is everyone come. I say 50, but I'm trying to get there early. I want to do Under the Tuscan Sun and get a villa,
Oh, absolutely.
and then just word out. Everyone come.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There's
we'll
these
come.
rooms.
Doris, Doris would be there.
She just booked her
If they
ticket.
still allow her into Italy.
I know. I adore her.
Oh my God, love her. Love her. So tomorrow night, Doris's son is getting married.
It's
and
gonna be
he
awesome.
and his fiance are just the sweetest couple. And Scott and I are going to be there. We're going to have a great time. Katie, of course, is going, but we're all going to be there. And so we'll post a few pictures tomorrow night. And we will definitely have Scott back next time that we're all in town. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks for
Thank
welcoming
you
y'all.
so
We appreciate it. Thanks for
much.
those.
Mwah.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
thank you.
y'all.
Bye.